and gentlemen, today we are joined by some shocking fucking news. I don't know what's going on. I'm joined by my friend, my companion, my duo, a staple to the Call of Duty scene. Welcome everybody, probably 7 White Claws deep, Ben J and a C.
Thanks, Tom. I'm only a third of a White Claw deep.
That's it, just a third.
Yeah, so I grabbed a White Claw, and then you instantly called me. I'm like, well, shit, you know.
Well, Ben, shit's hitting the fucking fan. Listen, you're not the only one joining us today on this emergency flank. We also got the one and only Looney, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for my man, Dan. Dan, the fucking man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I just came back too. Jesus, came back in time. Gotta truly so I can match Ben.
I like that, Dan. I like that a lot. Fuck, I might need to go get a glass of wine. But listen, we got the one, the only, one of the best AOs ever doing. He goes by the name of Big Tony on the streets of GTA. Let's give it up for Anthony Zinni, aka Mete.
Tommy!
Zinni boy, what's happening?
What is going on, fellas? This is a fucking unexpected one, huh?
This is fucking nuts. This is nuts. Well, for those of you who are confused on what the fuck's going on, or for those of you who are just joining us, Dallas Empire recently just came out and said that they will be, I guess, releasing Crim 6. So he's now a restricted free agent, which means he's still under contract, but they're looking to get rid of him. So that's very, very interesting to me. Vivid also came out and said that he's a restricted free agent. So is he a free agent, Ben?
Restricted as well.
He's restricted as well. Okay, so they took both their options on their contracts. And they have them locked up and they're trying to sell them. They're trying to get, they're shopping them around. So that's getting pretty interesting. I didn't expect the Crim 6 one. I've heard my fair share of the Vivid stuff. Like the Vivid shit wasn't too surprising to me. But I
can't believe Crim.
The Crim 6 one just throws me off. Like I had no idea. It's
got to be a big move too. If they're getting rid of Crim, they're bringing in the big dog.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who the fuck is
let's not sugarcoat it. This wasn't Crim's greatest year of Call of Duty. I thought he did though play very well in that Major 4 event. I think they just had a disappointing end of the season. But I agree. I'm a little surprised. I figured they would have given him another season to kind of figure things out. We know what qualities he can bring as the winningest player in COD. So I'm a little surprised they went ahead and moved on from him this quick.
I just think Crim brings a lot of intangibles to a team. You know what I'm saying? He's the most winningest player in COD. Like I just don't think anybody saw this coming. Like nobody saw it coming. So there has to be a big dog on the way, like Zinni said. There has to be. I
think them dropping Reese. Let's quickly cover the Reese Vivid thing. I think them dropping Reese was definitely a possibility. I thought Reese Vivid played pretty well on the Dallas Empire shirt. I thought he brought a lot to their search game. It started to really turn around at the end of the season. So I'm also a little surprised they moved on there because I felt like there was a lot of value in them keeping him. And we have talked time and time again on the show that like good SMG talent, especially good SMG talent that are plus players in S&D are like hard to come by. So I'm surprised there. But I agree with you on the Crim thing. I wonder if that move is them maybe bring Clay to the team. Maybe that means Austin's coming to the team. There's going to be a void of leadership now, and I wonder if that's who they're going to replace Crim with.
What about...
No. See, there has to be a definite... Like, they have to have had somebody who they know they can get if they're actually... If they went to Crim 6 and told them so.
I got to take.
I don't think it's Clay.
I think... It is interesting because I want to say it's Slasher, but I don't know about with this take how it would work with Slasher. But what if that means Hook comes back?
I think if Hook comes back,
and it was like yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe because it looks like Crim has a lot to say about the whole Kyler situation, so it might have just been beef between those two players, a little bit of internal beef. I know there was a lot of talk about just look at the mini map bullshit. That's just a take. I think it might just be as simple as like picking up Slasher or Octane, who are FAs. But that would be interesting if Kyler comes back, and that's why they were comfortable moving away from Vivid.
I can see like a Florida trade. They're trying to get like Neptune and Skies, Neptune and Awakening, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
But then who runs AR in that team?
Skies.
Awakening or
Awakening.
Skies.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said if it was Neptune now, would that mean that Ender would have to run main?
I don't see them making those moves.
With Slasher and Octane on the market, bro, it has to be one of those.
Apparently, the owner of Cloud9 just tweeted something.
The fuck did he tweet? What did he tweet?
I'm on it.
Because
fucking...
you realistically you
Get on it,
don't
Zing,
have
get on
to
route.
announce this until September 5th, right? That's like the date everyone's saying. I do know that Dallas likes to move quick to give players options to gather stuff, and but you can do that without the announcement, right? You can just talk behind closed doors. You can do that regardless. I feel like for this to be announced this early into an off season, they have to have people already that they either already are interested or just like are dead ass about to sign.
Yeah. I
Because
mean,
realistically, like I said, you don't have to announce this. Crim announcing is just like it's huge news, obviously.
you know how
That's
it is
the
too,
domino.
Dan. Like you know how it is. Like as soon as the event is done, everybody's making moves and shit.
Yeah.
So everything's gonna skyrocket. And I've been saying this like the last couple of days on streams. Like Chad, I wouldn't, I would expect some shit to happen within the next couple of days.
Well, let me move the conversation here because we were going to come on. I know you, Tom, you and I were going to do a show this weekend. I think we were talking about the optic situation.
Yeah.
They had a press conference yesterday and they talked about how they're sticking. I wonder now with Crim now out there, do they stick with that thought process considering the overall lack of structure the team has had? I think the winning sort of killer mindset lack thereof.
You think Optic's bringing Crim back in?
I'm tossing it out there for discussion with this group.
Yeah,
What do you guys think?
that could open.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Lately, I saw that maybe the Crim relationship got better. Obviously, I guess you're saying he would replace Formal, which apparently that had beef. So that would obviously it would just be if Crim and Scump rekindled and whatever and dropped their beef that they had. I know they had 4th of July tweets or something like, "Let me come over for a barbecue." Fuck the beef, but that's interesting. I don't think that's the route they take. Could just be a Crim Clay swap, and Crim just goes to New York.
If you're New York,
maybe now.
That's not that bad of a move for New York if Clay was going to move on. Again, you give a good leadership pair with ASIM. As long as Crim can continue to improve his performances, because I think this is a down year for him, New York would then continue to be a top team if the lineup is something like Hydra, ASIM, Mackin, Crim 6. And on top of that, you don't have that third sub problem, right? Because Mackin pretty confidently run his third sub on that team. You got ASIM and Hydra can lock down subs. So if that's a swap on New York side, I don't dislike that at all.
Dude, no one knows anything. I'm texting everybody. No one knows shit.
Yeah, no, I know nobody. No, trust me, I would. Yeah,
because they know you're on the flank trying to spill the beans.
No, I wouldn't spill it at all. I just want to know. I'm begging to know what's happening.
Well, I'm curious on who you guys honestly think Dallas is getting. Who do you guys?
Slasher or Octane are the biggest. I give it more towards
who's the
Slasher.
other one? Dan, who's the other one?
That's what I'm saying. I want to say it could be Kyler because, like Ben said, Vivid. I'm glad he got that second shot and not just on the bench because he proved his worth on that Empire team. If to adjust that quickly, so I feel like he did enough to if the move was gonna be Crim to then just plug Slasher in, right? And then you just maybe keep Illy, Shotzi. You're obviously gonna keep Shotzi, and then just keep Vivid.
Yo, do you think that do you think they might be getting Dashy?
I want to.
I was about to say it could be a Dashy or Formal.
I wonder if it's like a Dashy or bringing Hook back in. I think they want something like that. What,
I mean,
Ben?
I could definitely. If Dashy were to get released, I feel like
because of the Illy
going
situation?
to play with Ender and Shotzi would be like his top priority. But it's like, who the fuck is Optic getting if they're getting rid of Brandon?
Yeah, that's a big question. But I think the interesting thing with Dallas is, Ender's always been a big X factor for them the last 2 years. And I think he's had, they tried him on that second sub role and it didn't really work out. He's been a good flex, especially on land, but at times has been a little inconsistent. So I wonder if maybe they explore moving him to main, slow down his gameplay a little bit, be that glue guy, and then they go for picking up Kyler, and maybe then you would have to make one other move to fill the fourth spot, and then you're just now fully on that aggression tab with Ender kind of bringing the leadership as the main air spot. I actually would like that move if I'm Dallas instead of going out there maybe picking up Austin or making a swap for Clay.
I can see Pierce.
Zinni, what do you think? Do you think Pierce?
Weren't they playing Chows? Weren't Ender and Pierce playing
Chows?
Hey, that's how it was back in the day. Our H team didn't win a map. We're in a 7-win streak. Let's fucking team, baby. We don't win any Chows, baby.
Is this what we're doing now?
I would not be shocked if Pierce ended up on Dallas. I just don't know which SMG they're getting, or if they're gonna make Ender an SMG. Like, I don't understand.
Nah, I
getting rid of.
I think we'll do something did not work.
They might make Ender an SMG, but
yeah.
they have to. No, bro, they have to be getting somebody bro. I think it might be Hook too. Like it has to be like something along
Bro
those
loves
lines.
Kyler. Stro loves Kyler, bro.
He does love Kyler, man. He does. And bro, I was
Kyler and Pierce.
Bro, Hook. I feel like Hook needs to be in the equation. Money Mo, there's no way. You think they're picking up Money Mo?
No, they're not dropping Crim for fucking Mohawk.
Let's address both points. I really like Pierce, and talking to people around the league, I think his mindset, his approach, his sort of attitude to the team has really improved in the last year. So I think amongst pros and front office personnel, his stock's actually gone up this year.
Okay.
And my only thing with the Collar thing is I would love to see Zio back. I do think, though, that, let's address the elephant in the room. They're going to have to do some work to make Shotzi and Hook fit in the system. They're both kind of roaming players. And so people are going to have to pick up the slack there, and they're going to have to get their timings right. It's not going to be easy work, but the ceiling on that is tremendous. You got two players that can make dynamic game-winning plays on the map at the same time. Like, I definitely think slaying was a huge problem for Dallas this year, candidly, and that really kind of gets them up to par with some of their top teams.
I could see the XCO working for sure, but it was just weird that they had so many problems with this year with that. There's a reason they removed Hook from the roster. That had been a big decision. So I don't know if it's like maybe they think they're messing up here. And hey, listen, we could be completely off. We could be on completely different sides here. I'm trying to think about trades too, like maybe some trades that are going down. Zin, I think you were onto something maybe with the Florida shit.
I mean, bro, I just feel like they are getting another SMG, and they're getting rid of Reese, who I think is really good. And you got Crowder with the cameo in the back.
Look at Crowder. Look at fucking Crowder, bro.
Shout out Chris Crowder.
Look at my man Crowder, bro.
Yeah, no, that collab's dope.
Hold on, we're getting a Scooby bomb
yo,
here.
Ben.
Look. Oh,
Crowder.
look at Scooby.
Yo,
look
Ben.
at Scooby, though. Look at him.
Oh, cute little dog. Yo,
Look
Ben,
at the
ask
cute
Crowder
dog.
if he got an extra mouse pad from that collection. Did I need it?
I need to pet that dog.
Dan's asking if he got an extra mouse pad from the collection because he needs one.
I have the blue one.
He said he's got the blue one.
I don't know if it's extra.
He doesn't know if it's extra. You're gonna have to slide into his DMs and figure that out.
Yeah, that didn't sound like it was an extra one. All right.
All right.
I appreciate that, Ben.
So the owner of
Thank you very much,
Cloud9 replied to Crim's tweet with the eyes emoji.
Yeah, they're just seeking, bro.
Yeah, they're just
seeking.
baiting on Twitter,
Yeah,
man. You know
is
how
it-
it is
you
around
fucking
me. Everyone's
serious?
sliding in.
Hold on, I
you
wouldn't
love
be
the
bro,
interactions, bro.
Cloud9's got cash. They could walk in and buy a spot.
So
no one's saying
here's
that.
a
Yeah,
good
you're not
tweet, though.
wrong. I mean, you're not
All
wrong.
right. Here's a good tweet, though. New York replied to Crim6 tweets with the eyes emoji. So everybody's
Gersh is
sliding
loving
in.
it. Gersh is loving it right now.
Yeah, Gersh is sitting back, and the impressions now on the NYSL Twitter account. Man's counting his impressions like they're stacks of cash, but
I mean,
This is my thing with the Florida take, though. Would you really take Neptune over Vivid?
no.
I got a text message from Porter.
Scum
Okay.
tweet.
He said I'll call
You know what
you,
I'm saying?
but I'm
Porter's
live.
gonna call you.
Does he know I'm live? I don't know if he knows I'm live. He's Porter's a very busy guy. He's probably got other shit. He probably doesn't even know. But fucking listen, man. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I think one thing we gotta notice is that this is gonna be a domino effect, like Zinni said.
Well, no,
Now this is gonna
everybody was
change
waiting on
everything.
Dallas. Everybody was waiting to see what Dallas did
Dallas,
before it
that's like
happened.
Clay. Yeah.
And now it's all about to hit the fan. So expect these next few
Yeah,
days
but I
to
don't
be
know if everyone
nuts.
was expecting Crim to be the one that moved on from that team. So I think it changes a lot of people's plans now. If
No, it
his
does. That's what I'm saying.
destination's not set.
I mean,
you know what
bro, what if I don't know.
Like this
Something
was
about
one, this
this
was kept under the rug really good, bro. I'm telling
Listen,
you.
And by the way, like if we've learned anything from the Cristiano Ronaldo saga from the last couple of days, someone could come in at the 11th. No, it's a good reference because follow me here for a
No,
sec.
no, no.
Someone could come in at the 11th
I
hour, and if let's say hypothetically it's a Clay for Crim swap, and someone comes in and offers a better deal for Crim, then plans change. So I agree with Tom. I think we're going to be along for a wild ride here. See what happens.
This is fucking. I don't know. It's interesting to me. It's interesting. I'm like pondering a lot because I'm fucking just confused. But I know that most teams are changing. I'm thinking Florida. I'm thinking.
mean, when
There
Crim's
was
in the
one in
market, every
Toronto.
team's up for grabs.
Yeah.
Probably other than
Oh,
FaZe, right?
what about Kleenex? You think that's a
Yeah, I mean-
possibility?
Like Kleenex goes to Empire?
Yeah, being that he's available.
Hey, Toronto likes selling to Empire. Let me tell you, they're so chatty.
That's interesting. Because I feel like that kind of makes sense.
It definitely makes sense, but would Ultra do that? 'Cause then who does Ultra go pick up?
I don't fucking know. I have no
You
idea.
know what I'm saying? Like if in order to be comfortable doing that, like I feel like you have to have something lined up. But
what if
Empire could go poach. Empire could go poach Ultra.
I could think of one guy on Toronto that's on the bench right now that has very good submachine gun presence.
Oh my God, is that Methods?
Yeah, bro, his submachine gun is insane.
Listen, anybody's watching, man. I'm still here, man. I'm ready. I mean, it's World War II. I mean.
He tried to run an SMG and SND for me. I couldn't believe it.
I mean, I had, the #1 KD in the entire World War II season and 3 different. Oh, I'm saying, breaking Parasite tweet. This isn't the end of it. Thanks, Parasite. Really
everybody's just gonna bait, bro. Like
this is.
There's a way to bait, but this isn't the end of it.
Of course, this isn't the end of it. We're up to me, bro. Like,
thanks, Dwarf.
It's safe to say this is the start.
Listen, man, like this is getting mixy. I know we're talking about Crim a lot, but we also got to talk about Reese, a guy who's been performing at the top of his game. Yeah, where the fuck is this guy going?
I think LA Thieves is an instant one for me. You eye him out.
Yeah, LA Thieves probably. I think they're looking to get him as well. I think LA Thieves is definitely looking at him.
I think I put Kenny back in the SMG role. Anybody else disagree with me?
It's up to him.
Yeah.
But like.
I agree.
There aren't many S-tier SMG talents. Kenny is one of them. It doesn't make sense to have him on a Flexer and AR when he can be one of, if not the best SMG.
I agree.
But it's two games now where Kenny.
Up to him.
But it was 2 games now where Kenny was running the SMG and then just didn't want to do it after using it. You know, it was Black Ops 4, right? He wanted to go on a Maddox, which I don't even blame the kid for that, because Jesus Christ, the SOG was garbage.
That was disgusting.
And
I was talking about the Maddox, not the SOG. The SOG shot piece, but go ahead.
And then the next game, Cold War, he started with the 74U in the beginning, which I thought he could have got used to if he kept using it. I don't think he gave it enough time. I think he should have gave himself more time with it. But he chalked it away, you know? So now I'm like, I could see him going back on a sub. I've said that before, but I just don't know if he's willing to do that.
So Kenny's playstyle to me fits really well as that third sub flex player. And that's why I agree. I like the Vivid pickup, because to me, like, Reese Vivid's not just a great respawn player, but he's an incredible S&D player.
Yeah, it's
and I think you're providing a lot of value to the Thieves team. That's going to set him up. If they play a similar system they played last year or this year, where it's info and we push, or they change it up a bit, I think he fits either play style. And that's a game mode that they're going to need to excel in to really step back up to be a championship contender.
Astro has tweeted apparently. Apparently, people want you to pull up Astro's tweet. Tom.
All right, let's
Mike
take a look.
Rafael tweeted?
Yeah,
Let's take a look.
He double tweeted, I think. So go ahead.
Dan, we're gonna need you to read this one out. I think.
Yeah, he did. I got it right here. Does anybody want to give it a read, or do you want me to give it a go?
You got it.
Let's do it. Mike Rafael Hastro coming in hot. He said we're switching up a bit for 2022 and didn't want to delay or risk opportunities for both Crim 6 and Vivid. Crim is special. Everyone already knows that. Vivid got his strat and proved he has what it takes. I'm going to deeply miss both of them on Empire. Bullshit. No, I'm just playing. I'm just fucking playing. I'm fucking around. I know the chat's fucked up on the screen, but let's get through this. Even though we finished 1st and 3rd in the past 2 CDL World Championships, we can't become complacent in fixing issues regarding our team dynamic. No move is certain to work out, but I really hope this one does, as I cared pretty deeply for those guys. Ben, we'll kick it off with you.
Wait, read this second tweet.
You did? Another one? Ben, how many White Claws are you fucking drinking?
He did.
Jesus Christ,
you read the second tweet? I'm sorry.
Yeah, even though we finished 1st and 3rd, he read that.
I'm sorry. I tuned it down for a second.
You piece of shit.
Listen. Let me come back in here. The second tweet to me is very interesting. I wonder kind of what's going on behind the scenes between Crim and management and Rambo. I mean, I guess we got to wait for the Crim video now, because he's probably got to record it for the 49th time.
Yeah, right.
Change up.
2 parts.
I wonder if just they want to make a change in the leadership of the team, and that's what came down here. But going back to our earlier point, I wonder if they've talked a lot about the leadership qualities that they think the Ender has. I wonder if he's going to be the one to run point, or they're going to bring someone else in to backstop that.
You think it's Slasher, Dan? You think so?
The reason why is he brought Stro a world championship himself.
Hey, you're not wrong.
That's someone that Stro probably trusts a lot.
I don't know.
Probably doesn't like him, the fact that he didn't sign in World War II and just walked away. So that probably left a bad taste in Stro's mouth.
But Crim brought him one of those too.
I know, but if you're gonna walk away from Crim, you have to be confident in the guy that's coming in, right? So that's all I'm saying. Like Slasher or Clay for sure. I just think has to be filling that AR role. It just has to be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I just also respect Empire for like this is like, again back-to-back years where they make this move quick for that reason. You know, give those players that they're letting go an opportunity to be active in roster mania, be there quick. Last year it was Clay, right?
Yeah. Wait, Dan, let me ask you this. Do you think there's ever a situation where they don't know who they're getting, but they just you know
want to change?
Yeah, they just want to change, and Crim just went out there, announced restricted free agent. Now they're just gonna shop. You know,
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But do you think that could be a possibility ever?
I think it is, and the reason I say this is because at the end of the day, you're the Empire brand, and you have Shotzi.
Everybody wants to play with Shotzi.
Right,
Everyone wants to play with Shotzi.
If you're smart, that's a smart thing to do. Just let everybody know, hey, we can do this. Next thing you know, the conversations start happening. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't see this shit coming. And then once it hits the fan, and it was announced really early. This is one of the first announcements we've seen since fucking Champs. At least a big one.
I like that take.
So,
I like that.
So I don't know. Maybe it was just one of those things where they just wanted to swap them out. And they're just looking now. And now they're seeing who they can get. They might be trying to pull now. They might be trying to pull from like Optic or like fucking... I don't fucking know. Anybody. Fucking anybody. New York. They might be trying to pull from us. Crim just texted me. I gotta call you. What the fuck does he want to call me for?
Jesus Christ.
What's going on, Zin? I'm freaking out here.
I don't know. I mean, fuck. I'm trying to figure out who's going.
You up?
No. Not that I know. not that I've heard of.
The way you said that was funny. Well,
people in chat want you to call him.
No,
so I don't think he's gonna pick up.
No.
Chill out, chat. Chill out. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? What's wrong with you?
What
fucking
the fuck?
Guys? Yeah.
Florida tweet. Listen.
What did they tweet?
Everybody's banning guys.
Bullshit, dude.
Yeah, come on, man.
Did they tweet bullshit?
I'm sure.
Well, that's what everybody's doing this shit, man. I'm looking at
tweeted.
I'm looking at Twitter right now. You know.
Cloud9, hello. We need to chat. What does that even mean? Maybe there's who the fuck knows? Maybe there's a partnership.
Bro, everybody's just baiting, man. Just let the baits run out.
Yeah,
no, man.
Chat, you're always fucking bait. Mute your mic and call Crim. And what? Just call Crim and then come on the show and say, this is what Crim just said. Guys, it doesn't work like that. I know a lot
Crim
of people.
will have this time when he's ready to just come on and speak his piece.
Sometimes people always say, Zoomaa, I thought you always kept it real, and they get mad when I don't spew like, shit that's going on behind the scenes, because that's not what I want to do around here, guys. I don't want to destroy my relations with everybody. If people have trust in me, I gotta give them that trust. If people don't want me to tell nothing, I don't tell nothing. That's just how I always been.
Tom,
so I gotta wait till shit goes public.
Ask Crim if he has any further comment on all this that he wants us to read on the show. He made his reply, no comment.
All right, let's ask.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah. Listen, guys, we're trying to get the extra edge for you.
Oh man.
I mean, I don't know what much else there is to say about this Dallas thing. I think though we should talk a little about the optics stuff, because I think we were going to discuss on Sunday.
I said we're live with the emergency fling. Any comments you want to say to your supporters all watching?
This tweet just guarantees that Shotzi and Illy, so I guess that's another time. Like, they're just guaranteed on the roster, right? If not, you would have seen a tweet.
Yeah, no, exactly.
They're gone. So
yeah, so I mean, it's Inder and Shotzi, but now it's like, first off, what is Inder running?
I don't know. I'm full of questions.
Like, are they going for a flex and AR?
Did you hear the same thing I heard, that they might want to put Illy back on the sub? Is that why you're saying this? Because I heard that.
I mean, I've heard everything. Like, I've heard like
those are just rumors floating around.
Yeah,
you know.
I don't know.
I don't understand that move, because when they have put Inder on the sub, it hasn't been his best position. I feel like they're trying to fit him in a role that's not his best fit.
Yeah,
you're saying Illy? You're saying
at this point.
Yeah,
I would say at this point he's a flex.
I feel like Inder is either a flex or a main, running mostly an AR, and in a good third sub game, I think he can do well. But being a second sub, first sub, I don't really see it.
You think MW engine has anything to do with it?
No.
I mean,
like, is it that, like, are they really thinking that deep into it?
But
going back to MW type shit. It's an MW engine, same movement and shit. I don't know. Fucking get Illy back on a sub.
I think Pierce might be involved. Because the thing with Pierce is, like, Pierce can also run an SMG. Like, Pierce can run, like, Pierce is the flex, but, like, if you want to have a flex, you can run an SMG. Pierce is one of them. So, like, we could definitely see, like, Pierce, Shotzi, Inder.
I think it's somebody. It might be somebody from Optic.
Let's back up a sec because I think we might have some new listeners.
Might
Tom,
be.
I want to kind of explain sort of a dynamic here with new rosters in the offseason. So one uncertainty in a COD game every single year is what is the meta? And often it's going to fall into generally 2 categories. It's either going to be 2 subs, 2 ARs, or 3 subs and 1 AR. So like when you're building a team in the off season, you need to be very careful that you don't put a hard 2 ARs in your team, and then if it becomes a fast 3rd sub game, your 2nd AR is not then unable to catch up, and then you're forced into making a roster change. So I wonder if we've seen a lot of teams in the past, and I can point to like the first year of franchising where a lot of teams have made that mistake, and then they then all picked up AR subs, and they had no sub SMGs to get. I wonder if a lot of teams now are trying to hedge and think about, well, let me get like 2 flex players in the team if I can. If I don't have a good 2nd sub, let me at least guarantee that if we go to a 3 sub meta, we can then figure it out. And if we go down to 2 subs, great, we can do 2nd sub by committee or figure it out from there. So I like the Pierce thing to that point, Tom, because he can run both roles. He's a very good 3rd sub. He can be a very good main and be a very good flex. He can play all 3 of those roles.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you with everything you just said. I think you're pretty spot on. Great take, Ben. But I don't know if it's Big P. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to know who it is because I just didn't see this coming. I knew a lot of the moves that were going down, or like most of the rumors and stuff. But Crim6 wasn't in any of that shit. He wasn't in any of those talks. Dan, Zin, you guys hear anything about that?
About what?
Just Crim and fucking. I heard about Reese. Did you hear about Crim?
No, the moment I found out is when I saw the tweet. I knew Vivid was gone. I just didn't think Crim was even possibly remotely gonna. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think it was a possibility to get rid of Crim.
Well, then Ben, going to your point with Gunless, right? Who's the 4th?
I think it's Clay. I think they're getting Clay. I mean, you're getting rid of Crim, the winningest Call of Duty player in history.
Listen, all I know is I'm with New York, and I'm seeing what's going on behind the scenes, and this is the first I'm hearing about this Crim6 shit.
I just think like if the move is Clay and Kyler, I would caution that is like shades of a very similar mistake we've seen a lot of teams do by recircling the wagon and forgetting about a lot of the initial issues they had. Or in Clay's case, again, he would be on another team where you have 2 players that are sort of island players, and he's going to have a lot of frustrations and with the team having a learning curve. So I see the Clay move as like definitely a favor for me if swapping for Crim. I don't know if the Reese Vivid thing is for Hook though. I could definitely see it for CleanX.
Yeah, I can see it for CleanX too. I can see it for CleanX because I just know that he's available, or at least I'm guessing he is based off the contracts and everything. I know people are reaching out to him.
So two things. I think Ultra should stick together.
I agree with that.
Me
my
too.
opinion.
I think they should too. But you know how that goes in.
And at the same time, knowing the person Toby is, like, I think he also wants to play with those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's very close friends with the whole team. Quiet guy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
But he might want to raise because he might be underpaid.
Well,
I mean, I don't know anything about it, but
be a situation where, and I don't want to sugarcoat it to Toronto, like they had 2 very tough losses to end the season, and that makes people think. From my POV, I think they should stick because I think that team is nasty. But it's possible that Toby feels elsewise and feels like his best situation is somewhere else.
Yeah, no, hey, bro, and it's not like he's going to a shit team. You know, like it's not like Toby would be going somewhere where, you know, it's what if they might be better than Toronto or what.
Something about this Neptune thing, like that. I don't know, bro. Something. First off, that Halo.
I don't like the move, and let me say this is you cannot put like if it's like, oh, let's get all the Halo kids on a team together. They all have very similar play styles. They are very much roam play styles, and I don't think you could put 3 roam play styles on the team with a mid AR
you're actually right,
and make that work.
Yeah, you're right. They do play the same.
They're not 100% the same, but it's the same mindset. And like you could make a system that would make that work, but like people got to take turns going rogue. And if people don't listen to instructions and everybody's going rogue on the map, it's just not going to make any sense.
Yeah.
And you're going to have inconsistent results.
Yeah, it's not a bad shout. It's not a play style thing. You're right. It's not how they play. It's just how they think. It's like the mindset
you put the pieces together. Like I just think it would be you can make the fit. I just don't think it's like your high percentage chance of building a contending like dynasty team, which I assume is their goal. Dallas is out here not trying to play top 6. They're trying to get back to a dominant form.
Well, listen, we keep talking about trades and this and that and getting a player from another team. What about challenges? You think they're grabbing anybody down there? Like a Sib?
No.
You see him going for Sib or some shit?
No, I don't think so.
The thing is, if you do go that route, you for sure have to bring like some sort of leadership vet route. So it just screams Clay or
with
Slasher
one
more.
of them, you know, they could pick up. They could pick up like a Slasher or a Clay, for instance. Like say they want to reach out to us and do something, then they have a gap to fill in. They have a flex role that they got to fill in, especially if they're moving in there to the sub.
Yeah.
Dante does it well, you know. Sib does it well. There's a lot of flexes in the game that they can pick up, maybe from challengers, or maybe they can even make a trade for it. But they could go down into challengers and dip in there. Maybe there could be somebody I don't know about. People are talking about Mohawk in the chat. I don't think they're gonna pick up Mohawk. I don't. But to be fair, Mohawk's been playing well. I don't want to talk. I don't want you know, people to think that like Mohawk is a good fucking player. So maybe aren't they close to Mohawk?
Yeah, no, they're good friends with him. But I just, bro.
Paul X. What about like Paul X? What about Paul X or some shit?
Maybe.
I mean,
you know, like they can fill it in. They can fill in that gap.
I think Mohawk's got a high ceiling, but they have an opportunity by going first here to really get their pickup players. And they're not in a position where you need to take a tremendous risk like that. Like there are players on this market that are high ceiling players that are like low risk. And like those would always be the better option. And then it's just a question of like, of that pool of players, how do I build my roster of 4 where my system makes sense? And their core goal, which is being number 1 and not, you know, losing the phase 5 or 6 times this year, like what happened. So I think to your point, Tom, I'm very curious to see of the SMG tier who they're going with.
I don't know. Listen, guys, I'm not really too sure what's going on. I'm sure we'll find out more in the next couple of days. You guys expect things to hit the fan a lot faster now, at least I do. I feel like now things are gonna like fucking skyrocket. I feel like once one is out, then the rest start coming out. You know?
Yeah.
One at a time. So we'll see how it all unfolds. I know there's a lot of changes that are being made. I know over at LAG, I think there's changes being made. Fucking Paris dropped their whole team. Seattle dropped their whole team. There's some free agents. There's some people who are, you know, aren't getting their options renewed or who are restricted free agents all over the place, man. There's changes being made. Everybody wants to change. Everybody.
Well, let's actually switch gears then, Tom, with this group, and talk about a team that maybe won't be making a change. You know, Optics seems to be kind of position of moments where they want to perform.
Ben, you sound like a robot.
That's really good, Ben.
I sound like a robot.
Yeah, you sound like a
great.
fucking robot.
Just give it a sec.
It's okay, Ben. Don't worry about it.
The Wi-Fi is failing you.
Yeah, some technical issues. Don't worry. Everything's okay.
Is it better now?
No, you should probably stop talking and reset your team speak.
I'm taking a piss. I'll be right back.
Okay.
But that's the thing about it.
Stop
Not
talking.
sounding
Just
good.
stop
Not
fucking
sounding good.
talking.
Disconnected from
It got
Jesus,
worse.
Dan. You see what I got to deal with this fucking guy? You know what I'm saying? But Dan, there's gonna be so many fucking changes, bro.
I mean, yeah, we got the. I think you probably talked about it when you first turned your stream on, but the Paris squad wipe.
Yeah, no, I haven't even talked about it yet.
Yeah, you had the Paris squad wipe.
Yeah, and
That's number 2.
And I didn't know that. I thought they were gonna keep Donnie for some reason. I don't know why, but I thought they were keeping Don, and I thought they were just gonna build around Don, like just build a team with him. But they released the whole team, so I was also interested because Maddie was here before he left for Texas. It was kind of sad because, you know, he was like, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna get picked up, so I won't be seeing you anytime soon. You know, I felt really bad about it. Is that Ben? Is he back in business?
Is it still us?
No, you're good.
You sound a little bit better. Yeah.
You're better now. But your cam's lagging, but it's okay. What were you saying, Ben?
We were talking about
I was
Optic.
saying, what do you guys think about Optics sticking? Do you think that's a good move, or do you think they should be looking to rotate
No, I
some
think this
players
should
in?
change. I think this should change.
I think when you look at the history of Call of Duty and you look at their placements, that team has always changed. A team like that with those placements has always changed in the history of COD. I can't think of a single team that has stuck with those specific placements. Obviously, it is Optic, and Optic hates changes. But in the history, a team like that has always changed.
Well, one thing I will say is, like, that team wants to win. Every team, for the most part, wants to win. Them being friends or the fucking content, like, they want to win. So I think they'll make the decision that they deem is best. And bro, I don't know. Something about Crim being available, for some reason I can see Optic back in his name. Everybody's like, oh, they talk shit.
I don't think so, man.
You don't think he'll end up there?
No,
or he could end up there? You think it's possible?
I don't think that's who they're looking for. Like, if they're gonna, for instance, like who would it be for? One, like who would you do it for? And if you're going to drop one of those players on Optic, are you gonna do it for Crim? Or are you gonna do it for, you know? They might be trying to get somebody crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is Optic.
That's no disrespect to Crim. I think Crim's an amazing player, most winningest player of all time. But, you know, there's a lot of fucking talent out there. you know, so who knows what they're thinking. And it's Optic, you know, it's Optic. So they're trying to make a big move for sure.
So let's step back a second, then get back in. So like we've talked at length on this show of Optic's issues this year, and I think it boiled down to like two things. First thing is just a lack of tactical depth. When other teams are out here innovating and really understanding the game at a deeper level, Optic seems to get in situations where they're just getting outclassed by other teams in terms of pure tactics. It's clearly not a skill problem. It's the organization. I think the second thing to me is a mindset. There was a quote that stood out to me from the post-event press conference, whatever you want to call it, where they talked about how, you know, they thought they were just going to kind of run over New York in the first round of the bracket. And to me, that's sort of a naive mindset. Even with Kleyev coming into that team, that still has been historically a dangerous team. Even when they were, say, shorthanded, when ASIM had the visa issues, they were still playing some decent COD. So to me, like, if their issue in the offseason is how do we get that championship mindset back, but how do we also figure out how to be like a little bit more on the cutting edge of how to play COD. That's why I like if they're going to explore the Crim pickup. I think it checks both those boxes to me. I think the bigger question, and this is maybe a little bit of a fire take, is I think we all agree that Dashy is an extremely skilled, maybe one of the most skilled players in the league. I think he's very much an X factor because oftentimes his decision making, I think, gets him in trouble. If you're Optic, you probably don't want to change him. Do you think about how maybe to hedge, though, if still you make one change and things don't work out and you feel like, well, maybe we need to inject a third person? They're not going to drop Envoy, they're not going to drop Scump, no? Well,
Ben, going back to your initial point about like them saying their mindset, right, going into the New York match, it was only Formal who said that, and I remember watching that. And Scump and Envoy immediately disagree with him. It was like, nah, we didn't think we were going to slam him. I think Formal said something like, I thought we were just going to roll through him. Like, I thought we were going to body him and move on. And then I think it was Scump and Envoy who jumped in and said, no, like, we knew it was going to be a tough match. Like, the other two disagreed. But I definitely see what you're saying with the Crim thing. I see people saying in the chat, that's the one. See, I said I don't think so. But I'll give it the benefit of the doubt because he does bring intangibles that they are looking to get. So I do agree with that that point. I just don't see it. Like, I just don't see it after all the problems they went through, like in the past. I just don't see it at all. But to go back to your initial point, what was the question you asked, Ben, at the end? What was your question?
So I think let's take the Formal situation. To me, like, I see their team as maybe this may be a little bit of a fire take, but like if I were in the Optic GM shoes, I kind of see two changes here and not one. I think the Formal for our leadership AR is a tough bounce for Formal, but I think it helps him a lot. To me, though, I really like Dashy's skill, and he's got that Supreme Gunny, that like special ability to just take over a map. But the question then becomes, like, would you trade that for a player who's more consistent? And I think there are players on this free agent market that make you kind of really contemplate that question.
So you can see Dashy going to Dallas?
No, so here's the thing is my thought process here is probably different than theirs, because I think to Dan's point, like, they are very much loyalty, and I do not think that they're going to drop Dashy. But what I think they should do is I think they should take a hard look at what they want to do with that sub spot. Because if they end up making one change and they still have the same problem, you know, they're gonna have either a great sub lined up, or they're back to like what we talked about in March and April with some of these teams, which is you better roll the dice and get it right in the buyout market or the trade market or picking up a challengers player.
But if that's the case, it's not going to be Scump. So instead of just saying sub spot,
Scump and Envoy, I think are undroppable from this team. I think
he
Scump
means
has shown
sub spot as in substitute, like have someone lined up.
Oh, okay.
Like a challenger or whatever.
I look at this roster right now. I think Scump had a great year. I think there are a lot of haters out there, and he proved that he's definitely still got it, especially in S&D. I think Envoy gets a bad rap from the general community because I think sometimes people just don't watch VODs, and they see that this guy gets put in some of the worst situations of all time because of his teammates. And watching them play, I feel like he's the only one that hits long routes. So he's constantly in situations where he's getting the worst timing of all time because his team is just not playing the system. So, and I think if he actually was in system, like you saw at times in Modern Warfare, he's disgusting. So to me, those two players are undroppable. I think Brandon's very good, and as long as he like gives the work ethic and plays that system, I think he's like a top tier talent. So my guess is if they are going to make a move, it's just going to be a one-player swap to bring in some leadership. Maybe it's Crim, and then like instill a better team culture so they can actually really contend with a team like Atlanta FaZe.
Imagine that storyline. Holy fuck.
What?
Yep.
Crim and
Dashy's out?
Formal were talking shit. Crim comes and takes his spot. I don't know.
Man. I mean,
what if they both just go play Halo?
I mean, that's not happening. Crim? You saying Crim go play Halo?
Yeah,
That's not gonna happen.
Listen, I don't. There's so many possible options for Dallas, and then Optic. It's like your Optic. Like you said, I think if Optic is making a change, I think right now they're trying to get someone that's like not free. Like they're going for like a big dog or like someone that we would probably consider unattainable. That's who I assume they're going for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But how many players? So this is another question: is like how many players do you think are going to be in a restricted free agent situation?
A lot of them.
I mean, we're gonna start finding out. I'm pretty sure.
Next
pretty sure
week.
people have to know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure by Monday everybody will know. No, when's the deadline? Isn't it?
Isn't it the 5th?
September 5th, apparently. 2 weeks from champs.
Oh, okay. So never mind. It's gonna drag out a little bit.
I agree with what you're saying, Ben, about like the structure of it all. You know, where Crim6 can help in that way. If you're gonna get rid of Dashy for that, or rid of Formal for that, and you do Crim, Dashy, Envoy, and Scump, do you think that's just gonna instantly fix that? You think Crim really can fix it just like that? Just bring in Crim and boom, you're good to go.
I think there are two sides to it. There's the side that Crim is a very smart player and is passionate and is not going to accept a lot of the BS and maybe lack of work ethic that I think candidly plagued Optic this year. The other side of it, though, is the same issues that led to the breakup the first time around. That he's gonna be a no fun guy. He's gonna call out every mistake. He's not really going to be like understanding of some situations. So it is a little bit of a risk, but I candidly think that that's what they need. I like see people in the chat saying they need new coaches and yada yada. Like, I agree. I think an analyst would help, but at the moment, the coaching market is thin, and you know there might be some ex-players
out there
that can maybe help out. Someone like Dan here in this call that I think could assist, but I think it starts with accountability amongst the players, most importantly.
Mm-hmm. No,
I think Lamar in the chat was saying, by the way, it's not September 5th. It's actually in 2 days.
Yeah,
August 29th.
Yeah, that's
so
what I
hit even faster. So
That's
last
crazy.
year it was 2 weeks from champs, I remember, because Toronto had me stay till like September 15th or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So,
What is the September 5th date? I'm confused.
I think it marks 2 weeks from champs.
Yeah.
But I guess that's
Okay.
not 2 weeks from champs.
But
this
it's
time
2
around?
weeks from the start of champ, like from the start of the end of champs.
Last year was the end, because again, I thought I was ready to go home after champs, and then Ultra were like, no, we can keep you for 2 weeks.
They actually kept you for 2 weeks over there, bro. I can't believe it.
They kept me for a week, and they're like, yeah, we'll let you go now. I'm like, oh, thanks, dude.
Nick was kind of going through the same situation. But
yeah, so I guess maybe this year it's 1 week. I don't know.
I don't know, man. My
That would
head's all over
explain
the
why
place.
Empire already did it.
My head's all over the place with these fucking changes, but Ben, is there
I do
anything
want to
else you want to say?
I want to say this
Dan?
because I see a
What's
lot
up?
of people in the chat. Players like Crim, players like these established guys don't want to rebuild on one of these orgs. I see a lot of people like, just give him the keys at LAG and he builds whatever roster. But like,
It's hard.
It's hard. Yeah, if he can't get the players he wants, there's kind of no reason to do that. It's not like your ideal situation. Obviously, if things don't work out, then you go do that. But that's not that's not Octane's ideal situation. That's not Slasher's ideal situation, or like Crim's or anyone's ideal situation. You always just want to go fit in a system.
Well, because the reason why people think like that is because back in the day, Dan, it just wasn't like that. Like, people can go make whatever team they want to make, they can go make. All they need to do is DM each other. You want to play? Okay, bet. I'm gonna make the group
But even
chat.
then, Tom, that rarely happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You rarely wanted to just like, all right, I'm gonna fucking squad wipe and pick up 3 players. For example, I was in that position, right? From Black Ops 3 to IW, I got dropped. What'd I go do? I went and go poach Elevate, and I said, yo, I'll make you guys better. Drop fucking Nagafin.
Yeah.
Right? That's always like the best scenario. You never want to just fucking, all right, I'm gonna pick up this and player. All right, let's make it work.
Yeah. No,
I think that could be a possibility, but if that does happen for Crim or whoever, I guarantee that wasn't their ideal situation. Or their ideal plan.
I agree with that. I mean, it just gets really hard with contracts and everything too. Like, it's just a fucking mess.
Nowadays.
Right now, it's a mess. It's a fucking mess because everybody's trying to figure out everything and things get really complicated. And then people got to figure out what their teams want to do. Every player thinks differently about the team, so you got to have one-on-ones with all the players. Like, all the teams right now are trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Let's step through. Let's take some time and step through some of these layers here. We probably have a few people watching this show, either watching or listening. This is their first roster mania. There's a couple of pitfalls I think people need to look out for.
Okay.
Tom, you've described that like there's players building teams. There's also like GMs building teams. And then there's this other phenomenon I want people to understand is like you're going to hear about like current thinking of teams, right? But like buyouts maybe don't happen. Maybe GMs don't want to make moves work. So you're going to see teams change like pretty quickly. I think you're going to see this a lot with teams like a Paris or maybe an LAG that aren't like at the head in terms of how all these dominoes are going to fall. So I want people to be like caution when we talk about it on the show, when you see stuff on Twitter, that things change like literally by the hour sometimes with how roster media goes down.
Oh, they do. True. They do. Because you just don't know. Like, for instance, this Crim exchange just completely flipped everybody upside down.
Yeah,
now,
I don't think anyone was expecting this one.
I don't think anybody knew. That was actually like...
I feel like just...
I bet you he didn't know. He probably found out probably today.
I found out right now.
Yeah, he was probably not expecting to be in this situation.
Which means, does that mean Shotzi and Illy have been talking to somebody on the low, and they've been playing wages with Gunless?
Listen,
of course.
Listen up. I understood your take, and it was a good take, but I don't think they're getting rid of Crim. I don't think they're dropping Crim without a plan. Like, I think they know who they want. We just don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I would argue that that's likely, but I also think they probably know now that by making this move, they've now put themselves very much in front of everybody else making moves.
There's Shotzi. That's just the biggest
move out
thing.
here now are people going to wait because they've now cleared up both an SMG spot and an AR spot in their team. On a team that finished first last year, third this year, you're right. They have Shotzi. They've got a good coaching staff. They've got a good org. I think now suddenly everybody's going to be waiting on them to make their decisions, and they can kind of just grind this out for everyone if they really wanted to.
And then also teams have to worry about, they could potentially be making teams better by doing some of these trades. Like, people got to be careful. Like, for instance, we're talking about Crim, Formal, maybe Dashy, whatever. Imagine Crim and Dashy trade or some shit, and then next thing you know, fucking they bring Hook back, and you got a Dashy, Hook, Illy, Shotzi team or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, teams also gotta worry about what's gonna happen on the other side. You know, because you don't want to set anybody up and make another fucking God squad like fucking FaZe got. You know, because dude, just thinking about that roster on paper, I'm like, Jesus Christ. You know, like, people gotta be careful with the moves they're making, which is why a team like Dallas, like, I think they have somebody in mind, like Zinni said. What I threw out before was just kind of like a theory. I was just asking if anybody thought that could actually happen. But I agree with Zinni. I think they have somebody in mind, and Shotzi and Inder have probably been talking to somebody. And I don't know who that somebody is, and I don't know who the fuck they're talking to. Who was he playing wages with? Gunless?
Wait, bro. Okay, also, let me... It's probably, like Ben said, there are some people who are new to Roster Mania listening or watching. I saw the question a few times asking what a restricted free agent is. Basically, that just means that player is free to explore options, but the team, for example, Empire, right? Crim is a restricted free agent. They still own his rights, and they're trying to sell him. So if a player has high stock, it doesn't make sense to let him walk away. Whereas a player who is less likely to get options, the organization would usually just let him go to give him a shot. You know what I mean? Whereas someone like Crim, Vivid, these guys are in high demand, so Dallas is going to get some money for him. That's pretty much all that means.
And then there's also the other side of contracts where, you know, most of these contracts are 1+1s. So after the first year, they come to a negotiation period. And then if, say that player was underpaid, right? Say that guy was on the minimum. It was his first year coming in. He was on the minimum. He fried. He had the best year of his life, a top 10 player. The fucking team coming in could say, listen, we're still going to hold you on your option. Like, we're not changing your contract. We're not going to re-up you. But if that's the case, he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year and can walk wherever he wants. He can go wherever the hell he wants. He doesn't have to worry about anything. But if he gambles on himself, if he doesn't sign, that means he's gambling on himself to have another good second year where he just absolutely fries. Because I'm sure a team's going to want to lock up, like, say, Crim 6, for it. This is all an example, by the way. You know, he signs a 1+1, he fries for the first year. It comes to that second deal, Crim 6 is on the minimum. They say, okay, we'll give you $150,000 to sign another 1+1. So at the end of that second year, he's locked up and he can't do anything. And then they negotiate another 1+1. Or Crim 6 can say, no, I don't want the 150. I deserve more than that. I'm just gonna, you know, cool it. I'm just gonna be a free agent. I'll stay on the minimum for a second year. You gamble on yourself. So then Crim would have to fry the next year to get an even better contract, because at that point he's a free agent. Multiple teams are gonna want him. It's gonna become a bidding deal, and at that point you're getting a fat raise. So those 1+1 deals can get really fucking tricky. They get really tricky. And some players, and this has already happened this year to a couple players, They'll just go out and sign something when they see more money on the table. They're just like, boom, I'll hit it. But they don't know their worth. They're signing contracts and they're still underpaid when they would have been able to get something a lot more because they deserve it. They deserve it, and they don't even realize it. You know what I'm saying, Din?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with the CDL, right? Like you said, 1+1. Back in the day, unless your org was really dumb, most if you were a good player, like you said, if you're sought after, most organizations didn't they gave you like a 1-year contract, but that would end in like December, right?
Yeah.
Like they knew that, all right, this guy's a hot shot. Come free agency, because obviously COD rosters always change. So most of the time you were like a restricted free agent in the off season. But now with 1+1s, like you said, if you serve 2 years, you're going into that off season that after that second year completely free, which changes the game. You can ask for more because they didn't have to buy you out. You have endless situations. You can get into bid war. Obviously, as a superstar, but usually when people don't view you as a superstar or you're sought after, they just release you. Right. Like we see that Paris, like, you guys can all get the fuck out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, that's why Crim is restricted. But there's also one thing I'm pretty sure is in a 1+. I don't know how it is in the CDL, but I think your max buyout is your yearly salary. So like, you can't get bought out for $1 million.
Yeah, there's a buyout cap, I'm pretty sure.
So that's
is that just a salary? So say Crim's on 150 grand, right? Does that mean that the buyout can't go any higher than 150 grand?
Lamar's telling me I'm wrong. I thought that was.
I'm pretty sure unless they've changed that rule.
They might have changed it.
That was definitely a rule in year one.
So they can have Crim on again, I'm just making up numbers. So they can have Crim for 150 grand, right? And they can try and sell him for like 500 grand. And if they don't, if the other team doesn't want to go that high, then they don't have to sell him. They could just say, okay, just ride the bench. We'll just keep you around. You can just ride the fucking bench.
Yeah, but they could also, like, you could extend someone, and then there's like, you could just buy out. There's like, if you buy someone out, you only have to pay up to a certain amount of time afterwards, and then you're just done financially. So you could like do that gamble, right, where you take the +1, see if anyone baits, and then all at worst you've just eaten a couple of months of salary at that point.
Yeah.
You guys think? Sorry, random thought. You guys think there's a world where they can try to get Priesta?
They can try. I mean, they can try.
I don't
try to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
I don't see
contract
leaving that Minnesota team. Minnesota is one of those teams that like ended the year in a situation where they really ought to stick together because they showed that their ceiling is very good. And the minute they figure out how to play better respawn, they're already like an elite S&D team. They're set up well for any minute. Again, we talked about the 2AR 3 sub thing. Like between Preston, Priesta, Attach, and Standy, like they're set on that. There's really not, like, to me, a situation where they should be making a move there.
I don't think Minnesota's changing. I think they're just going to stick. And I don't think they're going to entertain anything. I think they're just going to chill. Stick as a team. They ended the year strong, and they're just feeling good. They're feeling confident. They think they could do it again, and they're gonna keep the same roster, which I really don't mind. I think they did have a good ending to the year. It does depend on who they get.
There's always a positive to sticking.
Yeah,
there could be a negative, but
bro, and then that's another thing to talk about. Even if the buyout is as big as somebody's salary, you know, somebody like Crim is on a hefty salary. He's got to be getting a good paycheck. It's Crim6. He's the most winningest player of all time. He's got a great brand. He's a great player. He's been doing it for a long time. So, you know, I'm guessing that whoever's willing to get Crim is going to have to pay some big bucks. Because they're going to have to pay out his fucking... They're going to have to get his buyout, which is going to be whatever his second-year salary was, for the most part. Maybe a little bit more. I don't even know how high they can fucking go. If Lamar's saying that's...
Well, Lamar's saying that it's unlimited now. So theoretically, the number could be whatever.
That's fucking nuts.
Now, you know, Dallas traditionally, you know, we should give this context, which is Dallas and the MV org has been around in esports for a long time. Having been on that side of the business, relationships are key. You don't want to torture a relationship theoretically over one move. So two organizations will likely come to a very reasonable price for everyone. Maybe throw in some kickers or a lot of other like levers people can pull. So they'll negotiate and figure that out. So it doesn't need to be some absurdly high number.
Knowing Dallas too, they're not gonna... Sorry.
I also think on Stroh's point, and I think he's being genuine about this, I think it's a typical thing out of Dallas that they're making these moves quick to not screw over the options of these two players. They recognize that both Vivid and Crim are going to be sought after players, and the earlier they put them on the market, the more options theoretically they have and putting them in better situations. So I think that's respectable. And
very respectable. And also, I mean, Stro has also been around. He's endemic, right? Like he's seen it all.
Yeah.
He's not gonna sort of restrict Crim. Like he's not gonna make it harder for him to go where he wants. So I think wherever Crim wants to go is likely where he'll end up. I don't think a buyout's gonna be a problem or anything. So shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much more to say to it. I just think we're gonna be having a lot more of these flank episodes, these emergency flanks. I think they're gonna be happening quick. What's up, Dan?
What do you think is the next domino then?
It depends where Crim wants to go.
I think it's the Crim.
You don't
and Clay.
I think I agree with the Clay. I think another big domino is what the hell LA Thieves is doing with all their players.
But I think that domino might be independent of the other dominoes. Well, I think, let me say this. I think one of those moves everybody's going to have predicted now. I think it feels like a certainty.
Well, everybody's predicting Octane of Thieves, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's a certainty. But if they're making other moves, yeah, that's another big domino that's going to fall because they're definitely an organization that's sought after to play by the players. They have that prestige. Obviously, with Nate Chow running the org and the content they produce and just sort of the overall vibe around the org, I could see that being a big domino. But I also think the Clay and Crim thing is going to be up there as well.
Yeah, I always thought the Clay move would be the first domino for sure.
I mean, and I also think Florida's changing. So I wonder if Skies or Awakening can be involved. I'm not sure. I could see it.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're on the way though. They're not the first domino to start.
Yeah,
no, but I'm saying to Dallas, like I'm sort of going in circles, but I'm just thinking out loud.
Gotcha. Yeah, because you still think
What about
like,
Crim to LA Thieves? Do you see that being a possibility?
Maybe. I mean,
I think if Kenny is on that rush, that's what I'm saying. That's a domino because Kenny served 2 years potentially. I don't know what his situation is. I don't know if he signed another year, but Kenny, I just feel like he wants him.
Kenny's on the front page of the Gucci website. I think he's staying right there.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, but they could potentially can't they do like a fucking Octane, Kenny, Crim, fucking I don't know, Draza type shit?
They could try. I'm not sure.
The draws is that only the real that's the same problem they've had with previous rosters where you now have too many AR players.
I'm not saying it's a good move at all. I'm just saying it is a spot where that's open. But I think
I just want to say though, if
Kenny
I'm
has
Thieves,
Sam written all over it.
If I'm Thieves, and I was planning on picking up Sam, and now Crim's out there, I think now you do need to kind of think about it. I don't think pulling the Sam thing's now a 100% certainty. So that might be an interesting wrinkle in all of this.
So who would you take?
Crim.
Yeah. So that's crazy, man. That's crazy. It could come down to Octane or Crim. You're saying, Ben?
I would say that if I am Thieves, and it seemed like
thought about,
the winds were blowing, that the Octane back to LA Thieves, 100 Thieves is kind of going that way. I think now though, if somehow Crim 6 is sort of out there on the market, think for a second before you sign that Octane contract and consider if maybe Crim is a good fit for your team. I still think they probably lean towards Octane, but crazier things have happened in the past.
Yeah, I think speaking of LA Thieves, Neptune is one to look out for in Florida, because I think he's another one that's been talked about all over the place. So I'm curious to see what the fuck happens. I really am. There's not really much for me to say. I don't know, Ben or Dan or Zin, is there anything else that you think we should talk about while we're still here?
I mean, we can predict all day. I mean, we just we have to wait to see what actually happens and what moves are made. And I mean, listen, if the deadline is by Sunday afternoon, we will start figuring things out quick. All these orgs are not taking this weekend off. That's for sure. No. And I don't know.
But it will take people a second to agree to contracts. So we might see stuff leaked by, Crone or other media sources out there, but personal terms still need to be agreed to. They just have decided destinations. So I'm looking forward to that. Tom, I think you and I want to do a show this weekend. Someone suggested to me on Reddit that we should do an award show, and I think that's what we should do on Sunday.
Hey, I'm down. We talked about that on the phone. Right before this show went off, I called Ben live on stream, and I was like, yo, Ben, we should do a show this weekend. Let's do a show. Ben was like, I'm down. Let's do it Sunday. We could do. There's a lot of shit we could talk about. And boom, this shit hit the fan. Yeah. And Ben said, okay, well, let's do a show. And we went live. So it's fucking nuts how this shit all unfolds, man. It's just happened so fucking fast. We've had over 10,000 people in the stream, which is fucking nuts. Fucking unbelievable, chat.
Bro, people love this shit.
Yeah, give yourself a round of applause, man, because that's fucking nuts. That's fucking unbelievable. But I don't know. I think the next couple of days, I agree with Ben. We might see hearing stuff from CDO Intel, all this other shit. But things are gonna be moving quick, really quick. Just like I said yesterday, just like I said today, this morning when I turned my stream on. Things are gonna moving quick. It won't be long till some more stuff starts coming out. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited for all these new rosters. I'm excited for all these moves. I think people want to win, so they're trying to do everything they can to win. If people are getting dropped or restricted free agents, sometimes it doesn't mean they're bad players. It's just the team's not working. Maybe you got to switch things up. So I'm excited to see what the hell happens. Dan, Zin, anything you guys want to say before we dip the fuck out and me and Big Tony go run the streets of GTA?
Nah, I'm good. Just thank you for having me. But like you said, you can just run circles around this. This is gonna be Rumorville for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see what major announcements we see these next couple days.
Yeah,
but don't worry. Because the flank will be live.
We'll be live.
Bringing you the news.
We're always live. Even if the flank's not going on, we're just live. We're just fucking chilling all the fucking time. So listen, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Go to anchor.fm/theflank to check out all the audio sites. Go follow @theflank on Twitter. Thanks to my man Gersh doing a phenomenal job over there. Go follow Ben @BenJanisine. Go follow myself at Zoomaa with 2 A's. And guys, as always, I fucking love you guys. Thank you for tuning in to today's emergency flank. And I fucking love you guys. Have a good fucking day. Take care.
Have a good day.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm not sure that.